Oh, here we are, between Le Barp and the next town, about 15 kilometers away. That's behind me, and that's the way ahead. Just a long straight piste passing through the vast pine forest that is Les Landes. Its own kind of wilderness. 14,200 square kilometers of pine forest. Just long straight pistes and the occasional country road bisecting it. So here we are. Today is an interesting day in the life of walking for water. I shan't go into all the details, but there's a kind of a new beginning, I feel, about the whole project today. And at some opportune moment, I shall sit down and explain what I'm talking about. But this is a glorious day. It's its own kind of desert, which is interesting. My walk planned to go from the water's edge to the desert, and as my brother pointed out yesterday, that Bordeaux, where I've recently come from a couple of days back, Bordeaux literally means water's edge, which is true. I'd failed to see that. It means water's edge. So from Loch Lomond, the edge of the water, to Bordeaux, the water's edge, and now into a kind of desert, Les Landes. I don't strictly know how you define a desert, but if you think about a barren place, an isolated place perhaps. And it's not barren in the sense that, you know, it's covered with pine trees and bracken, but it's an isolated place. It's a quiet place, and it's a vast place, just beyond Bordeaux, the water's edge. So from the water's edge into a deserted place, if not a desert. And we walk on. We continue. Things were looking a bit tricky. Still are looking a bit tricky in some ways, but had an interesting evening on my Todd in the refuge last night, and a few interesting telephone calls. And having stopped briefly at the Hotel d'Espérance, feeling a little desperate, I have to say, in the Hotel d'Espérance. And d'Espérance doesn't mean desperate. D'Espérance means of hope, of expectation. So I'm glad that I was kind of wrestling with a bit of despair in a place that was called the Hotel of Hope. There's an indication there as to who the final winner was going to be. So I stopped in a place of expectation that wasn't expecting very much. And then in the quiet of a refuge last night, I feel hope growing again. And we're not done yet. Oh no, we are not done yet. I've got about 5 or 6 days to cross this deserted and isolated forest. That's how vast it is. At between 25 and 30 kilometres a day. I'm only doing about 20 today because I've got a couple of things I need to sort out, but after that, between 25 and 30 kilometres a day, and it'll be about another 5.5, 6 days to emerge the other side. And when we do so, we should have the Pyrenees in our sight, and then Spain, and then we're 3 countries down and 3 to go. Yeah, so I will fill you in. I will fill you in on some of the stuff that has been floating around on the airwaves in the last couple of days. But there's a little crossroads. It's funny, you get to a crossroads, it can confuse you. Just keep going on. You just got to keep going. Got to keep going. Giving up is not an option. Keep going on. Just keep on keeping on. One darn foot in front of the other. That's all it's about. Controlling what you can control and not losing any sleep over the rest. Beautiful day. I'm glad and grateful to be out in it. Onwards. Onwards.